So one, as a landlady, I don't do student housing. It's not worth it. You'll make more money, but you got to decide what your stress level is.
This girl was like really shy to like share about information about what's wrong with the house. They go to the bathroom, they open up the toilet. It's like just like this like mountain of just like
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That's the worst story I've ever heard to date. Burn it down. Insurance claim.
Hello and welcome to the Hustle Over Everything podcast. This is the podcast where we receive stories, tips, and tactics from entrepreneurs who have done it. Today
and are doing it. Hello. Whoa.
Done it and are doing it. Yes. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No correction thing, bro.
Most definitely. So we have a special guest today, Jasmine Lee.
Thank you.
Jasmine, could you give people like a 1 minute, 2 minute summation of who you are and what do you do?
Okay, I'm a female entrepreneur. I have my business, real estate team. I am a mom to our amazing CEO. And my gift to the world is just the impact that I want to make in inspiring other people.
Amazing. Now, I have an icebreaker question, because you have both a Jamaican and Singaporean background.
Love it.
Right? So, and this is for all of us to discuss. We've talked about this before, but when it comes to food, I actually have two icebreakers because I have another thing I want to add on too. So when it comes to food, what you doing, jerk chicken or curry goat? Which one? I saw
this one, and I'm more leaning towards vegan life. So I'm more salmon. That's like I'm into seafood. And chicken and beef, I don't really eat. I don't rock with anymore because you want to be on a high vibe.
Interesting. So why does that bring a low vibe?
Because when you eat animal, you're eating their emotions, you're eating their fear, right? Mm-hmm. So this is why when you want to elevate and increase your vibration, that's why we're more plant-based. That's the direction. You want to live a long life, a healthy life, not just a long life. You want a long life of vitality and energy. So, and the thing is, as entrepreneurs, when you go into business and you're an entrepreneur, you're going to learn so much about yourself. You're going to learn about, self-development. You're going to be reading things to increase your mindset. So once that awareness, it increases all areas of your life and all areas of your business.
When did you realize that eating animals, you're eating their fears, their emotions, and because you never hear animals actually having these things. And particularly which animals do you stay away from if you're like, I'm never eating this again, but I can entertain having a little piece of this.
So I'll tell you, I do enjoy ribs. I'm guilty, like Baton Rouge ribs. But I just limited it over time, just being more conscious and aware, and just being that you want to, I'm turning 40 this year, and I want to be even sexier and healthier when I'm in my 60s than ever before, right? So I'm a foodie at heart. But we want to try different foodie, raw, vegan, seafood. That's the direction I am now. And eventually just eliminate all meat and seafoods.
All right. So what's your go-to meal of choice if you're in Jamaica, for example?
It would be some barbecue lobster, barbecue fish, ackee and saltfish, fruits and veggies.
But what go on to the fish's emotions? So
fishes don't have emotions?
Exactly.
I said I'm slowly getting there, right? We're getting it's a journey, guys. It's not a destination. Life is a journey, not a destination.
Got you. So you're on the pescatarian vibe
right now.
I feel you. Yeah. A lot of my family members on the pescatarian vibe. It's very prominent. I was raised Adventist. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm totally against seafood.
Adventist, what does that mean?
Adventist is a form of Christianity where they believe in the seventh day Advent. You know what I'm saying? So it's very similar to Judaism where they recognize the Sabbath as a holy day. You know what I'm saying? So if I was being observing the Sabbath today, you couldn't do anything until sunset, which it is now. So then you could be you could go and gallivant around.
Is it like your version of Ramadan?
Not too far off. Not too far off. You know what I'm saying? It's not too far off. So essentially all we're doing is just observing the Sabbath as a day to rest, just like how, the Jewish people do. So you have another icebreaker for you.
Okay.
And I spoke to you. This one's more of a blind side on you because I didn't include it in the doc. Cool. All right. So Toronto neighborhoods, Let's see what Toronto neighborhoods say about a character.
Ooh.
So I want to ask you, for someone living in Yorkville, what characteristics do you think a Yorkville resident has versus somebody in, let's say, Brampton?
I wouldn't judge a person by their location. Never, right? I would not, because I'm from Scarborough. And I remember when people would ask me growing up, where are you going to live and stuff. I'm like, where do you live? They would ask me, where do I live? And I said, my mom lives in Scarborough. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, because this is not where I'm going to live or raise my children. Yeah. Like the part of Scarborough that we're in, because at that time, Scarborough was different than what it is now, right? So I would never judge somebody by their location of where they live. But I understand it because I've had, you know, friends or employees tell me that they change the address on their resume because when they're putting their resume out there for a job, they need to change the location due to discrimination. So I get it, but I would never.
That's very real. Hold on. So if someone says, I live in Yorkville, you don't think they're trying to say something?
It's irrelevant.
Interesting.
Non-factor.
Yo, Jazz, I say all cap, yo. I think you know, like straight cap.
Who knows? It could be. What was that? Anna, the one on Netflix.
Anna Delvey.
Anna Delvey moment, right? You're thinking Yorkville. You're thinking Anna Delvey, or you're thinking the other Twitter. What is the other guy?
The Tinder
Swindler, right?
Yeah.
So it could be all directions.
But each place has a brand. That's what I'm trying to say.
Keep it a buck. Yeah. They do.
Like if I live in Danforth, I know that's a Greek man or woman.
I wouldn't treat you any differently, is what I'm saying. Like,
no, for sure.
It's irrelevant to me.
We're not expecting you to treat them differently.
Yeah,
for sure. We should all, you know, present our authentic selves to people.
Yeah.
You know, but on the same note,
certain neighborhoods attract certain type of people.
Well, not with real estate prices and people just moving anywhere due to pricing. It's a different climate now, right? Affordability. So even people are leaving Brampton to get more affordable housing. And yes, Yorkville is known as like the bougie part of Toronto. So if you want to say that, it's a bougie part. Brampton has high insurance rates. So that's what I would say. Bad drivers on the 410.
Paying a premium.
Yes, exactly. That's what I know about those locations as a realtor.
Absolutely. So getting into your start in real estate, you know, walk us through that. You know, growing up, what attracted you to as this is a career path that you want to get into? Right.
So I always knew that I wanted to own real estate. So I was like, okay, let me take this course for knowledge and how to purchase real estate. And I bought my first home before I got my license. So on that experience of buying a new construction home as a single female and the way they treated me, and I read some notes that the builder's realtor wrote, and I was like, okay, so this is what they do. And this is how they, you know, the behind the scenes of it all. I was like, okay, so I would never want this to be an experience for myself again or my clients. And I'm like, I can't wait to get into real estate because I want to help protect our community of how they're treated, and also for single female buyers.
Yeah. So you said you bought your first piece of real estate. So this is before even getting into as a career.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Let me not make assumptions. Was it in the GTA or was it somewhere else?
Well, my first home that I ever purchased was in Whitby.
It was in Whitby. God, what year was this?
It was a detached, and it was for $200,000.
Jeez.
It was for $200,000, guys.
Detached $200K.
$200K, and I put 5% down, which was $10,000. Yeah. And at that time, they even had a program where you can put no money down. What? And I remember telling clients and friends that you can buy property with no money down, and they're like, it's cheaper to rent right now than to own. And I'm telling you, I have conversations with them now, almost 20 years later, and I'm like, you would have been a multimillionaire if you listened to me. For the ones that didn't, of course, there's ones that did, and they're banking right now. But for the ones that didn't, they're just kicking themselves because they didn't take a hold of that opportunity.
Yeah, and you know, that's what's interesting here. Like, I want to just get into your mindset to really have the foresight to like, hey, I'm gonna buy this piece of property back then. So, and
keep in mind, I'll tell you, my mom bought real estate, and she was the landlord and landlady, and she had a hard time with tenants. And I remember us going to the properties, having to, you know, get all the families together to help and buy the beer cases and cook the food so they can come and help us to, you know, get the property ready because this tenant destroyed it and we had to paint it, we had to fix it. It was late nights. We were there hanging with our cousins while they got it ready again for the next tenant.
I know what you mean. Like I shared this one horror story. So my dad owns property in London, Ontario. It's like part of like, you know, like for Fanshawe kids.
So you want to talk about the type of like that already said to me? It's like student housing.
Student housing.
That's stress. I don't want that stress, bro.
It was horrible. Like, so take this in. So this one girl, you know, and they always say like, hey, like when I used to go to Ryerson, I'm trying to find a place to rent. They're like saying, hey, girls only, girls only, girls only. But statistically, this is not me just saying my thoughts, but girls have been shown to be like the messiest type of renters you can have. So my dad was leasing to this one girl. She was like an international student from, I think, Cameroon or Congo or something like that.
Damn, call her out like that. Okay. No names.
No names. I don't even know her. But like, I'm notorious for always saying people's like first and last names.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yeah.
It's like, like, so in Sarnia, we always call people like first and last name. It's just kind of like a thing we do back there. But my dad bought 2 homes in London, and one of the houses he bought, this girl was like really shy to like share about information about what's wrong with the house. So the toilet, the pump broke down.
Damn.
It broke down, and like there was no way of fixing it. Like there was a way of fixing it, but she just kept using it and using it. And my dad is never there, so she's never like, she can't call my dad and say, hey, this is what's up. So she just kept defecating in the toilet, like every single and she's living on the floor by her own. So it's like she's living her own filth. So she decides to move out. My dad says, leave the key with the guys upstairs.
I want no parts.
Burn
it down. Insurance claim.
So my mom and my dad pull up to the crib, right? And first thing that opened like the door to like the basement, they just hit like this heap of air.
Dead body.
I'm like, Ross.
Animal waste.
What the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? So they pull up, they go to the thing, they're like, yo, like did someone like poop on the carpet or whatever? They go to the bathroom, they open up the toilet. It's like just like this like mountain of just like
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
That's the worst story I've ever heard to date.
They had to like replace the toilet. They had to take out everything.
Who the hell's coming to clean that shit?
We had someone to come clean it up, but it was like the worst thing ever.
Okay, so one, as a landlady, I don't do student housing because
you don't do student housing.
No,
right?
It's too much stress. No,
it is.
Yeah. It's not worth it. You'll make more money, but you got to decide what your stress level is.
Yeah, for sure. So like those are one of like the horror stories. Like you got to get a property manager. And this is one of the things.
So this is pros and cons. We're going to talk. That's one of the questions is pros and cons, because I had a property manager, and during COVID, when shit hit the fan, that property manager got overwhelmed, and my tenant ended up being in my property for over a year without paying rent, and the landlord tenant board was closed, and that all happened because he had so much stuff happening with COVID and LTV issues being shut down. So he got overwhelmed. So yeah, it sounds great to have a property manager, but there's pros and cons to having and not having.
So let's break that down. What are some of the pros and cons? You know, like why would someone hire a property manager, and when is a good time to say let's let them go?
Well, one, it depends on how you're available and the location of your property. So if you're buying properties that are like 2 hours away, like you said, for your father, he's not available. Like you got to interview your property manager, see how available they are, how many properties they're managing, how good they are. And when ish really hits the fan, are they going to show up and they understand how to fill the paperwork out properly, and they have paralegals on deck ready to go. So they have a team ready for you. So then that's worth it. But again, with COVID, stuff happened, and it was new for all of us, right? Yeah. And then the LTV shut down, so there's nothing they could do. No property manager could help you if the LTV is closed and there's no evictions happening. There was none. So tenants knew the game. Like there is career tenants that understand the game, and they know what to do in order to stick it to landlords and landladies, right?
Yeah, and like talking about like COVID, that was like a renter's market. I mean, like the place I got now, I like got, I was always dreaming of a condo, but I hit it right on the money during COVID. I also want to ask you, like, as a real estate, comparing the market then and now, how did that impact your business, and how has it
before COVID and after?
Yeah, before COVID, like during COVID, like once COVID hit, and like how coming out of the market now, like what's the change that you're seeing within that?
So I'll tell you, when COVID hit and it was declared a pandemic, real estate got quiet for like 60 to 90 days. It got quiet because, everybody was fearful, not sure what to expect and how, because we're watching videos on social media, Instagram, like people in Asia just dropping, like you just see them falling to the side.
Bags on the road and everything like that.
What the hell is this, right? So in our industry, like homeowners didn't want anybody in their home. Nobody wanted, so then the market kind of shut down. But keep in mind, there's people who already bought and they need to sell. So people really got great deals when it was listed a new pandemic, right? So they got amazing deals. And then once people understood how to work in that new environment, that's when the prices just soared. Because now it's like, okay, what's more important? We're all working from home. We need a bigger space. We need space. People are in condos that don't have any balconies. Listen, I need some fresh air. I need a backyard. These kids are driving me crazy. Everybody's homeschooled. So being home and having it a good space and enough space for everybody was key. But this is when the real estate market just took off and the rates dropped. Like historically 1.5, like who, like that's crazy, right?
Which rate were you referring to? Like
mortgage rates? Mortgage rates, right? And there wasn't a lot. So there's two things that impacted the market, right? Was one, rates, and then inventory levels. So historically, like this year, January, we had 3,400 listings on the market, which is crazy low. And then February we had 4,400. Now we're about 9,000. So you're gonna see more of a balanced market, but it's still a strong seller's market in Toronto. Real estate's the best investment. Period. I have crypto, I have stocks and everything, but real estate's the best investment.
When people were like assessing real estate at the time, you being in the game for as long as you've been, did you tell them don't panic? Like, were people panic?
Listen, I'm not a COVID expert. I can't tell them not to panic.
No, but just as a real estate person.
No,
right?
because you see, the thing is, you don't know their, like, okay, everybody has a different situation. So I would assess their situation, their health exposure. Like, do they have underlying stuff? Is it worth them to risk having people coming into their home with potential COVID and elderly? Like, they have to make that health conscious decision, right? But in real estate, yes. So to answer your question, do you panic when the market is dropping and you own real estate? No, because you only lose when you sell if the market's down. So if it's down, just like stocks, hold it, right? Why would you sell in a down market?
And that goes to the next thing, like, what causes the prices to rise and fall? Like, in real estate? Like, what are the controlling factors that
there's so many, but the key things right now are inventory levels. There's not enough housing for the supply, and immigration is huge, as you know. Our two videographers are here, and Canada is always like top 10 in the world of like places to live, you know, everything like that. Although I want to get out of here because it's too damn cold for me.
Like inside, right? Oh, like in Toronto?
This is the worst winter in how many years, guys? Like, what?
It's been it's brick city.
Brick city. And it's like, there's no joy when it's brick city for us Caribbean people, right? We're not meant for this type of climate. So
that melanin needs
vitamin D. And stay focused what we're talking about. Vitamin D. Like
I'm just thinking about vibes right now.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, like, you were back in what did you say, Punta Cana?
We were in Mexico. Actually, what happened was, our client, we helped them sell their house. It was a multi-million-dollar house, and they moved to Mexico.
Yeah.
And we went to go see them there because I'm like, I love it. I love that they did that. And, you know, it's no longer are we waiting till retirement years to enjoy our life. We want to enjoy our life now. Who wants to wait till the freedom's not, there's no Freedom 65 plan or 55. Tomorrow's not promised. So that's one thing people learned about through COVID, right? The importance of community, family, what really matters, right? Because once you're not out there spending like you used, but some, like, also the flip side, now that things are open, like you can't even get a reservation anywhere because people are out. Like they're out. It's been 2 years.
Coming out with a vengeance,
right?
You're trying to party.
It's gonna be a hot girl summer. It's gonna be a hot girl summer this year.
Oh man, I'm trying to have as much cocktails as I can this summer.
Is that how you're feeling?
Oh, I'm a cocktail guy, guys. I like to sip up. I have a bar card on my
So where are the cocktails for our show today? What?
Yeah, I should have brought, like, what kind of cocktail do you like drink?
I'm not really a drinker, but I'll get down. Like, if you're, I'll get down. So my girlfriend got me this packet of Saint Germain. Oh, it's lovely.
Oh yeah, I think I know your kind of drink. I can make you a nice cosmopolitan.
Okay.
You know, a little vodka.
So let's talk about stuff that we ain't got right now. Let's do that. That sounds like a little bit of window shopping right now.
What do you mean? Like, we ain't got that right now?
Okay, right now, but you owe me.
I owe you. Okay, so next pod we do.
Okay.
I'll come back. I'll bring the tools and we'll make
I love it. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Word. That sounds good. So let me ask you a question on behalf of the Torontonians.
All right.
If I'm living in Toronto right now and I want to buy my first home, what advice do you have for that person?
First, focus on your credit. Where's your credit at? You need to track your credit monthly, right? That's first and foremost. So free apps like Borrowell, and you interviewed that company. Credit Karma tracks TransUnion. Borrowell tracks Equifax. You should know your credit score. Do not be scared of that. There's people who are scared to know their credit score.
How much credit score am I aiming for? Like 770?
I would say at least minimum 650 you should be. And if you're not there, fix up. Talk to a professional how to fix up, right?
It's like, even if you don't have credit, that's like having bad credit too.
Exactly.
You know, it's like if you don't have a card. I remember, like, I always share this story, but my credit history, the whole of university, I avoided the cards like a plague.
You see what I mean? Why? What was the fear? What happened that made you fearful of credit?
My mom was always saying, don't get credit cards
because back home it's all cash.
It's all cash, and also she works at a bank too, and she's seen all these kids getting major credit card debt, and she's just like, I don't want you to like get in this trap. So I start from the ground up, security funds, credit card. With Capital One, built that up. Then I graduated like...
What's your score now?
801.
Talk about it. You see when the score's low, they're not mentioning it.
Yeah. You're the chest out, like, 801.
801.
He's like 801. Okay, all right.
I'm trying to be humble a little bit. 801.
But why Why not? Because we have to have those financial conversations.
Yeah.
Have it with your friends, have it with your girls. So this is why first of the month we talk about credit. Like we play Bone Thugs and Harmony. It's the first of the month. Pull out your credit. Let's go. Everybody should be knowing what their score is. That's the first thing. Saving for a down payment, because there's no such thing as zero down.
Yeah.
Even have conversation with your parents. If they own real estate, talk to them about helping you with a down payment. I talk to families all the time because there's no point in waiting till your parents pass away to give you this lump sum. As a parent, I want to give my children money now to see how they manage it so I can help them manage it. I can give them the tools to help them to manage their portfolio instead of waiting until I pass to then give it to them.
Yeah.
And then they just squander it all, because we deal with a lot of estates, and unfortunately we see that too, just like how your mom was saying.
And those investment portfolios are actually key, which also brings like another key method is using your TSFA to buy a house. This is one thing my friend told me, is like, hey, you can actually take money out of your investment portfolio to buy that. So share more about that. Like, give us some more insight.
It's a great gem. And again, it's individually based. So in terms of mortgage, we have great mortgage people on our team that I would say to you or to your friend, I'm going to hook you up with our mortgage person, and she's going to set you straight and figure out a game plan for you, whether you're going to take out your TFSA, you're going to use your RSPs, you're going to use your stocks. What's a better opportunity for you to then get into the housing market?
And what is like the due diligence process that you as a buyer, you should like go through and looking to buy a house?
The due diligence in this market right now is making sure you can afford it, right? I don't want our clients to be house poor. So one extra step we tell our clients is do a budget now in your current situation. And also I want you to, when we have our buyer consultation by in person or by Zoom, we go over the payments, mortgage numbers, the utilities, the taxes. And then I want you to use those numbers to plug into your current budget to see how comfortable that is for you. We don't want our clients to be house poor.
House poor. So affording is very like relative, but what's the standard of like being able to afford? Like, is it your debt ratio? Is it like,
well, it's your lifestyle impact, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to, buy real estate now. You can no longer go out. You can no longer do things for yourself. It's just everything's for the house. And if anything happens to the house, you don't have that cushion to then fix it or improve it or repair it, or if something comes up, you're totally stressed. It's not worth it, right? But there are things like house hacking, where you rent a room, you Airbnb. There's so many opportunities now. So think outside the box. For me, I've always had multiplexes where I rent a portion of my property. And I remember, my accountant was like, who buys $1 million house and then rents out the basement? I said, I fucking do. What do you mean? Like, I'm not going to be using the basement. I'm single and living in this house. And I've always had multiplexes, and I always had a portion. I remember my first house, I was telling you that I bought for $200,000 in Whitby. And sorry, I swear like a sailor because I'm passionate. So my friend, he was a single guy, and I'm like, okay, you want to be my roommate? All right, $800. So he rented a room for $800. I'm like, but you can't bring any girls over. He's like, okay, fine. So you're gonna bring guys over? I go, of course.
Are you trying to stop him from like having some play? Like,
no stopping. I said, take your play to their play. Like, don't take it to here.
You don't want them funny business in your property.
Exactly.
Oh, if my landlord told me that, I'd be like, damn.
Your roommate, your landlady.
The landlady says, I don't know. I really need this, but I gotta get some play,
It would be tough.
It'll be tough. Man.
So house hack, guys. Our team's full of millennials, and my team member Rixie, she's a millennial. She's also a landlady, and she got into the market. And there is definitely, don't give up on getting into the market, because that's the best thing you could do for yourself is owning real estate.
So what's the inventory like when it comes to getting the multiplexes and the multifamily units to have the house hacking go? Is there enough, and is it a good option for first-time home buyers?
House hacking, I would highly recommend, especially when you're a first time buyer, because at the end of the day, if the mortgage payment is going to be like $3,000 and you're used to living with parents paying nothing, going from nothing a month to $3,000 is a big jump. So house hacking, if you rent out 2 rooms for like $1,000 each, you're down to $2,000 being paid by your tenants, roommates, and you have $1,000 left for yourself. So I was showing a client actually yesterday with one of my team members. So we're doing our tour, and we found a townhouse, and the basement was a rental basement, and the basement they're asking $2,000 on a townhouse. So I was giving them the examples that you can so you buy this house, you can live in the basement and have someone renting upstairs paying $3,000, and you're pretty much living mortgage free. You don't have anything to pay. Or you live upstairs because you want to be a boss, right? And you're just like, okay, let me live. It's my house. Live upstairs, have somebody paying $2,000 downstairs, and then you're left with $1,000 remaining. So that is house hacking.
Got you.
Put your ego aside, because you can use that money to then upgrade the house, finish it off, furnish it, or even buy other properties.
I was just gonna say you gotta be king of the hill, you know, but you gotta remember, you gotta like just like humble yourself.
You gotta humble yourself, exactly.
For real.
So, what's the best areas to invest in right now? Where should like the first-time home buyers be looking?
That's a great question, and it's not a blanket answer. It depends. So when we talk to our clients, we interview them not just to know their business, but to know what's best for them, because work commute, are they working online right now, which a lot of people are, but then is your company going to be calling you back into the office? What is that going to look like? Do you want to do a 2-hour commute? Because right now a lot of people are looking at Sudbury, but Sudbury's 2 hours there, 2 hours back. Like, is that what kind of lifestyle is that for you? Is that something you can do long term? Is that going to be something you buy to rent out or buy to live? So when we do a buyer consultation with our clients, we get to know their goals, what are their dreams, so that we can help them build out their plan for them.
Sudbury. Yikes.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's not what I'm saying, but we have clients looking all over. So, and we have partners internationally, which are realtor partners. So we have a team that works in the GTA, and then we have realtor partners that work all around the world. So we have clients asking about buying in South Africa that we've helped, London, Ontario, Ottawa, Montreal.
You've helped someone buy in South Africa?
Because now with social media, it's borderless. Business is borderless. Right. So we have realtor partners everywhere. The company we work with is borderless. So we have clients that are buying in Florida. We have a big movement happening in Florida. So we even have a team member that's here in Toronto that got licensed in Florida, because there's such a big movement of Canadians wanting to live full time in in Florida because of the weather and because of the lifestyle and just being the COVID restrictions that we've had for 2 years.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to move to Florida, how much money would you say they'd have to have?
He's like ready. That's not a question on the list,
Hell no, it's not.
Right now,
I'm asking for people. People is me.
I'm tired of Etobicoke. Let me know.
I'm ready to go. Let's go.
Canadians, you got to get your pre-approval first, right?
Yeah.
Depending on your citizenship. But for Canadians, they say it's like 20 to 30% down payment. And then we have to do the exchange, which kills us at 30%, 30 points. But then the prices are much cheaper, right? Like it was funny. I was listening to this other Instagram post about my clients is like, look at what you can get in Texas for 400,000. It's like 2 million here.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen those posts of like what you can get?
I've seen those on Twitter.
And you're just like, what am I doing with my? This is how I'm
living in Toronto. This is how I'm living in Texas. Like for the same amount, just like they're living.
Exactly.
They're not surviving. They're living.
Exactly. So I had a client just moved to San Antonio.
Jeez.
Listen, I have a cousin in Texas. Well, sorry, not in Texas, in Atlanta. Mikey, my guy.
Dropping names again. Let's go.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my cousin Mikey, bro. We paid the exact same in rent, and to see what he got hurt my soul.
He's living
to
lavish.
The core.
Lavish to the core.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Where he has like 2 bedrooms, a den, a massive kitchen. Like the living room space is like hardwood floors, high ceilings, and it's like a townhouse.
Damn.
Was it a townhouse or apartment?
It was like a mix. It was it's an interesting thing. Garage as well. Underground garage.
But in the culture in the States, for some reason, they're more prone to rent than buy. And the prices are so much cheaper in the States. It's like, why would you not buy? And here now, like our generation and our people in our community, they want to buy, they want to own real estate. And now the prices are just so crazy. This is why you got to think outside the box. So it might not be here for some people to buy, right?
Yeah.
Might be Montreal, might be Ottawa, might be Atlanta, Florida.
Speaking of which, I wonder if you could break this down. All right. So I'm hearing that like the Crown owns the land, but so we have to like negotiate like a specific amount of like buying rights or something like that. Could you like give us some clarity?
I'm not going to touch on it. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a real estate broker, guys. We pay our taxes. I am not going to be on their radar or watch list because of this damn podcast. Okay? I'm not going to teach you how to not credibility. I'm not going to teach you how to not pay the Crown's taxes.
No. I'm not saying that.
We have to pay our taxes right now. My property taxes are $1,200 a month.
Got you.
For my property. No. There's no if and but. They want their money.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying avoid taxes. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
sometimes you gotta avoid taxes the way you can.
I mean, what legally?
Legally. Tax questions. Like, talk to a professional. Talk to an accountant or a lawyer.
Yes. So we're talking about when it comes to the land ownership.
Yeah.
What I'm referring to is the Crown owns the land, and there's specific ways you have to go about actually owning the land versus just having a house.
Speak to a professional, which I'd recommend a lawyer and accountant in that department.
That's what you have to speak to for. Okay, I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to gain knowledge here. You don't know what you don't know.
Right.
So I gotta speak to a lawyer about owning the land.
Yeah, a real estate lawyer.
Interesting. All right.
I had an interesting question here because we put up a poll on Instagram. And what are your thoughts on pre-construction? Because your money's tied up for a few years, like there's no cash flow. Someone who's looking to buy that, what are your thoughts on that?
I'd have to know their situation to figure out if it's a good or bad thing for them, right? Because there's pros and cons with pre-cons. With COVID, there's a lot of delays. And I'll tell you, I have clients that buy pre-con, and with COVID, they were slated to close in 4 years. It got extended to like 7 or 8. And their life has changed. They're now they have a partner, now they have a kid, and it's like this 1-bedroom condo that I bought's not going to work anymore. But my money's tied up, my approval's tied up, and I can't buy anything else. So the thing is, you gotta weigh the pros and cons between resale and pre-con. And now the price of pre-con is not the price of today; it's price of when they're going to close. So you're not getting a deal anymore. Back in the days with pre-con, we used to get deals, used to get incentives like appliances and upgrades. Now you just, as soon as you get a pre-con, you have to, if you're buying a single family detached, you have to do fencing, you have to get appliances, upgrades. So you got to think about all that. And not everybody can buy from floor plans. So like we had an example, we had a client that was buying a condo. She's like, I love this unit, Jasmine. This is what I want. When I went there as a professional, which when we represent buyers, it's complimentary, it's free. So we get paid by the sellers and the builders. So it's all an advantage to you as a buyer. So when I went to go check out this unit, I was like telling the builder, where is it facing? What's below it? It was a garbage for the building. So I'm like, you're going to smell garbage all summer long. Like this is not, she's like, damn, I didn't even think of that.
This is not a vibe.
This is not a vibe. Or there's condos where you're in the corner of the condo, so you'll never get any sunlight. Is that what you want, right? And the builder can change the dimensions and make changes as they see fit. It's in the contract, in that 100-page contract that nobody reads.
Oh.
Right? They can make adjustments with materials and stuff like that. So what you think you're buying is completely different. So not everybody can buy in floor plans. They need to walk and feel the space. So that's where I'd recommend pros and cons. And resale, you can put less than 20% down. Pre-con, you have to do 20%. And what's happening now, I find a lot of big movement. People want to get into real estate. They're like, pre-con's perfect. I can pay accordingly. And then at that time, I'll be good. But you know what? Life changes. You don't know what your employment situation is going to be.
That's true. Right?
You don't know if you're going to be approved. If you're not approved now, who are you going to be approved then? Because the prices of real estate are increasing more than the incomes, right? So a lot of people are like, okay, well, I can assign it if I don't close on it. But assigning is not that easy. Assigning your pre-construction purchase. So you got to look at all the pros and cons of buying and what your intentions are.
I've also heard like horror stories of even the construction people who are building the building end up going out of business. Yep. Right? Like that's your whole money tied up. You get in a whole mess of building that out. There's like, I think one property, like I don't know if you know about this.
Scarborough?
Something along
the
like
condo,
like the.
And they got their money back. They're lucky they got their money back. But we're not steering you saying not to buy pre-con and buy resale. It depends on the person. What is good for you, right?
Got you.
What was the biggest deal that you've ever closed?
Biggest deal, like we have clients that bought and sold with us like 8 times. So it's not like we're never transactional. We want to help you along your journey, right? So we've helped a client when they were buying their family home, then they separate and they're buying singular, they come back together. I've had clients that separated and came back together. Or we've helped them start their own business and buy their commercial building or their space, which we don't specialize commercial. We have a team member that does, but just seeing people build their business or build their wealth through real estate, that's huge for me, period.
So I'm curious to learn more about you, Jazz. We've been talking about real estate, but I think people will want to understand more about your career journey and where you're going. So it's 2022. You seem very goal driven. You have plans. Like, what is the outlook of your business looking like for the next couple of years? So what are you looking to accomplish? I'm
a hippie at heart. So I'm after freedom and balance and moments and experiences and travel and food and just beautiful moments. But in terms of business, I've always been coaching. I coach our clients. I coach our team members. So my vision now is more focused on how I'm going to coach other realtors and other homeowners for the generations to come. That's going to be my focus.
That brings me up to a good point. All right. So with your team and this talking to leadership, you spoke about Dorks being an impact.
Dorks.
Shout out to
Dorks. She bring the feminine energy. She's now, I see the impact. I love it.
Dorks, say what's up to the people.
Hi. I'm meant to be behind the camera.
There you go. See, everybody has a role to play. I love that.
I hear that. So what have been some of the impact players on your team? And what are some of the things that you can, showcase to our audience that, hey, once I put this in, it changed the game for me?
You know what? I would say, when I introduce personal coaching, not just business coaching to our team's intuition heightens, their focus, their heart increased, their understanding of their clients and their vision for themselves and their family and their business. We have different conversations. They share different things on Instagram with me. So now they're looking at their 10-year vision. They're looking, and they're not in hustle, they're in flow, they're in attraction and abundance. So once I worked on more personal coaching, personal development with them, we did yoga, meditation, like we implemented that as a team. It changed the game.
Speak more about attraction and flow, because this is something that you're very big on right now.
Yeah.
When did that click for you that I think, let me get out of hustle mode? Because, we've all been in hustle mode, and now you switched to flow mode. What was that transition like for you? What were you reading? What kind of content were you consuming?
And I'll tell you, the thing is, there's going to be ebbs and flows in your business where you're going to have to put in the grind, and you're working till midnight, or I'm with my team till 1:30 in the morning. We're getting a deal done for a client. We're working and, getting that stuff done. So there's ebbs and flows. But one of the instrumental books that I love is Outwitting the Devil. Right? By Napoleon Hill. That's Bible to me.
Yes.
That's Bible to me. Like, even when I was interviewing the teachers for my son, like, I had them read, there's a certain page that I printed. I'm like, this is how I want the principles for my son. This is the principles, life principles. So it's just that your mindset, right? So everything's your mindset. So if you can see it, feel it, and know it, you can achieve it, right? So one of my team members, she just hit like 6 figures in her business, and she's in a 1.5 years in real estate, and she bet on herself because everybody in her family, generations up, were all in nursing, and she finished nursing school to appease her family, and she bet on herself and got into real estate. And now she's like, Jazz, I just want to let you know, like, I hit 6 figures, and I'm so happy. I'm so thankful, in gratitude. And I can't wait to share it with my family, because yes, they believed in me, but now that I'm hit 6 figures, which is even more than what I made in nursing, and they really wanted her to get into nursing because everybody, even her husband's in nursing, that like was just amazing.
The big paradigm shift.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Fred Van Vliet, Mr. Bet on Yourself. Just going to put that in there. But for you seeing that, how does that make you feel, like being a part of it? Being a part of it, that's like rewarding beyond measure, right? Yeah. That's like my soul path, my life journey here is to just impact. So that's when I know you're doing what you're supposed to do. Okay, cool. And outside of real estate, what are some of the things that you're interested in? Like what? Having a good time. You're all about the vibes. All about the vibes. Hang with good people, good energy, sharing, growing collectively together. And I assess my surroundings, assess the people that I share energy with, because you want to know how you feel. Like when you leave them, how do you feel? Like I assess friendships is like, how much time are they going to get from me this year or this month? Like, you got to assess who you're connecting with. Is it increasing in abundance in your vibe, or is it you feel like, oh, they're calling you to complain? Cut it short, right? Because you really got to, and when you're an entrepreneur, you got to protect your mindset 100. So if your mom's calling you to stress you out every day, like limit the calls. She has a time and place, right? Yeah, so absolutely. But for fun, I love to travel. I like new experiences. I like new restaurants. And I love spending time with my CEO, with the CEO. CEO. That's your son, by the way. Yeah. For sure.
Most definitely. So working towards wrapping up, where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram. So the main social media account we use is Instagram, the Jasmine Lee team. Links in our bio. If you ever want to book a call to talk real estate, buying, selling, if you're a realtor, you want to connect, all our information's there. Link in bio.
One thing I want to do, I want to welcome you to our ecosystem.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? What we're building here is ecosystems. Mario came on the podcast, Mario Armstrong, and Carlina, someone that's very entrenched into our ecosystem, got on his course, and now she's getting brand deals from his course. Woo. Mandela joined our podcast, then Celia reached out to her. Now she's one of the last people on the cohort for Founder Gin.
Damn.
So
you didn't tell me all that when you guys hit me up.
Listen, we like that our blessings to be blessings. You know what I'm saying? Come in as blessings.
I love it.
So, I want to welcome you to our ecosystem. For our entrepreneurs listening, make sure you holla at Jasmine and let us know how it went, so we can shout from the hilltops how good working with her is.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. With that being said, that wraps up the podcast. The hustle is what you can control. So control your grind and control your life. I'm Alex.
And I'm Owen Osinde.
And I'm Jasmine Lee. Thank you, guys.
Peace out, guys. Have a great week.
Peace. Thank you so much for listening. The conversation continues on our Instagram at 247hustler. We post very frequently. And be sure to check out our merch at hustleovereverything.co. We have some amazing sweaters, hats, mugs, and a lot more. Lastly, Our Proud to Pay program is linked in the description below. Thank you so much for your support. Talk to you next Monday. Peace.